Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. If you guys didn't know, the next major update is coming out very soon, and we just got our first devlog for it for the T1E1 90mm. That's right, we are getting a 90mm equipped variant of the T1E1, which is already in game as a rank 3 battle rating 5.3 heavy tank in the American Ground Forces tech tree. Now, this vehicle, the 90mm equipped variant, will also be a rank 3, which to me indicates that this will likely be 5.7, possibly 6.0 BR, or possibly even 5.3 BR. We're going to have to wait and see exactly what this is, but I'm guessing 5.7 for a few reasons. Now, this variant of the T1E1 will have the 90mm T7 cannon, which is essentially the M3 cannon that you find on the M36 Jackson, which itself is around the same BR. So again, that's kind of another indication. And this does share the same ammunition options, specifically the M82, which is pretty cool in my opinion, but it's not an overly powerful shell, it's just a very good shell. Now, of course, this will also not have a stabilizer, which kind of also indicates to me that even though it does have a much more powerful cannon, it's not going to have the famous stabilizer of the T1E1, which is fantastic at this BR, which could actually end up hurting it a bit because that stabilizer is a big part of the effectiveness of the standard T1E1, so we're going to have to wait and see how this plays out. Now, of course, the T1E1 also has kind of an electric hybrid transmission in which it shares the same forward and reverse speed, so this will also feature it, but it is a very heavy tank at over 60 tons, so I'm assuming that the 90mm equipped variant will at very least somehow stay the same, if not be a bit heavier, possibly a ton or two more, so this will have pretty mediocre mobility. But otherwise, this features the same chassis, suspension, armor layout, engine, everything pretty much of its T1E1 predecessor, so this will be pretty much the same vehicle outside of the fact that you now have a 90mm cannon instead of a 76. As I think I mentioned before, the T7 cannon is basically the M3 cannon, although an experimental version, and they do mention that it's got very similar ballistics. I think, again, it's going to be identical essentially in game. It's probably going to have the same exact armor pen statistics. If the armor pen is any different, it's going to be by only a few millimeters, either above or below. I mean, of course, there are some differences here. This might be a slightly longer or shorter cannon. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm assuming, just based on how the Americans work, this is probably going to have the same exact amount of armor pen. Otherwise, this does still feature that 37mm cannon, which is an awesome addition to this. I love that 37mm cannon. It is so good at just either damaging modules or annoying larger tanks. I mean, you could destroy cannons with that, tracks. It is just such a great extra cannon to have on this, and I'm glad that's still staying in this variant, at least again based on how these pictures are looking, but I really don't think that that's going to change by the time this releases. So that being said, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. I am interested to hear your opinions. This is a pretty cool vehicle to be showing off as the first devlog vehicle for the next major update. But with that said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.